Hello students, today we're going to be, finding the blueprint and how to read a proof. So I'm sure we've all had this exact same experience. When you open a higher level math textbook, your eyes hit a massive wall of dense hostile symbols like this. Let me just think of an example, I guess. So and obviously, right, for those who haven't started out with, who have already done real analysis, it looks like encrypted language designed to keep people out, right? So most newcomers will try to read a mathematical proof the exact same way they read a story novel, linearly, from the top leftward to the bottom right period, assuming the narrative will unfold naturally on its own. However, mathematical proofs aren't like novels. If you try to read them straight through line by line without a plan, you're going to get completely lost in the algebraic weeds, right? So obviously, this just doesn't make sense. We're going to unfold what this actually means in upcoming videos. So instead of a novel, think of a mathematical proof like a travel guide or a wilderness hiking map. When you open a guidebook, you don't read every single index word, right? Uh, Instead of doing that first, you scan the map to see the big picture. You look for your starting base camp, your final destination peak, and the major landmarks you have to cross to get there. When you read a math proof, your very first pass should completely skip the dense calculations. You should really step back and ask three structural questions first, which is first, right? Uh, what is the author's starting assumption? The second one is what is the final conclusion? And the third one is going to be what is the overarching strategy they are using? And it's basically, are they marching forward directly, flipping a postcard, using contra positive, right, or setting a contradiction trap? So once you know the map, the symbols lose their power to confuse you. And once you understand your main route, you can zoom in and inspect the individual steps. So now you're actually acting like a careful inspector, like a trail inspector, checking the safety of each stepping stone. So, for example, like for every single sentence, you must ask, why is this line even legal? And is it true because of a definition we've settled on earlier? Or is it referencing a rule or already proved thing in the past, right? Um, if you can't easily find the reason for why a line is allowed, then don't just take the author's word for it. Pause, sketch out the intermediate algebra, I guess, on a scratch piece of paper, and verify the link for yourself. This active questioning is how you build the mathematical maturity um, for this course. So when you're looking at the textbook I recommended, the elementary analysis, you shouldn't be looking at the proofs just straightforward, like just skipping them and then assuming you memorize them. You should be really questioning why each step is allowed. So I guess more precisely, we will say, we will call these first check one, which is definition verification. Check two, which is algebraic identities verification, and 3, which is just prior theorem linkages. So by learning how to use choose the proof strategies, mapping out arguments like guidebooks, and audit logical links step by step, you have officially crossed a, mathematical milestone. So you're able to now build the structural foundation that separates formula memorizers from the real mathematical thinkers. So I guess now you're going to be needing this foundation immediately because we are going to be officially closing this opening section, section A of this series. And we're going to be leaving the runaway of preparatory logic behind, and we are finally stepping into our core material. So in our next section, we are going to be building the number line itself. And there's going to be this is all going to be done from scratch and without the front end day-to-day logic that we are used to. So it's going to be very uncomfortable because there's not going to be any hand waving, shortcuts, and assumptions. And we're going to start off with the natural numbers and the Peano axioms. So I guess before we end off, I guess the advice or takeaway should be proofs, you shouldn't read them straightforward like a novel. Instead, you could be thinking about reverse engineering it, looking back, and just seeing how these linkages are made, like, a guidebook with the previous terminology I used. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.